right, so we are live. So what is up, guys? Mr. T coming at you live from NYC. Welcome back to Convos, our podcast over here at TimTalks. And hey, guys, welcome back to another episode. Now, before I begin, I always do this every single episode, every single time. So if you're annoyed, apologize. But again, I just want to throw my shout outs to all of you guys out there for everything that you've done to help the channel and the podcast grow. Again, means a lot, and I'm gonna keep saying it, and kill me if I should stop doing it. But either way, again, you guys have been awesome, not only as an audience but also just throwing your support wherever you are, whether it be over at the episodes, over at the memes I've been posting on shorts, which again, still loving that. And then sharing. I'm pretty active over on the community tab, but it's just because, like I said, sometimes some people like to read, some people like to watch, right? So I try to be all around when it comes down to doing the things over here at Convos, all right? But again, sorry for the quick intro. But anyways, guys, so I hope you guys have been doing okay out there. Hope you guys have been doing awesome. Again, just getting through life, and we all had our struggles and challenges and everything that we got to do with life. I know I've been there, done that, and so I hope you guys are staying safe, and I hope you guys have been awesome. Again, let me know if anything, and if you guys ever need help. Again, I'm always here for you guys, wherever, whenever, and whatever it may be. All right. But down to the topic. So you guys probably saw the title, and you saw over there what it's about comparing things. And I know that sounds unusual, or sounds kind of confusing, and I get that. Guys, also sorry if I might be hearing something behind me, just because of the fact that my neck kind of hurts, and I have this not condition, but just ever since I was growing up, I always was susceptible to neck pain. And so I'm not gonna sugarcoat that. Sometimes it hurts, so if I have to adjust again and the mic picks it up again, I do apologize. But I've heard people with back pain, leg pain, and so for me it's neck pain. Yeah, it gets annoying, but what am I gonna do, right? It is what it is, right? So anyway, back to the topic. So again, we're dealing with comparisons, and if I read over the comment, I'm just gonna go ahead and read it over right now, because it all makes sense once I actually get down to saying it out loud. All right. So Mr. T, have you ever been jealous of anyone? Because I think I might have that kind of problem. It sounds like something dang simple, but I just can't help but feel the way towards other people. I don't know, my friends say it's a problem, but I'm not too sure about it, right? Now, we've all been there before when it comes down to, looking at other people and saying, hey, he's got that thing, or hey, she's got that thing, or hey, she looks more beautiful than me. Or for example, for guys, it's like, hey, shut up, and why does he have that, and why does she have that, and I want some of that, right? So again, you've heard all those phrases before, and I know you guys might be thinking, hey, it's not really much of a problem when you're judging other people or comparing other people, right? But if you really think about that, right, when it comes down to other people, why is it that it becomes such a problem later on? It's because of the fact that we always look at ourselves and say, other people have this, other people have that, and we always think it back to ourselves and saying, I should have that, and I should have this, right? But why don't I have that, right? Now, again, you guys have your own opinions with how simple this sounds, but sometimes, when you're comparing and contrasting other people, I'm not gonna lie, it will get annoying. And I don't know how many people I've seen who get envious or jealous, and even sometimes hate, sometimes resort to violence just because of the fact that they don't have something that they want, right? And I think this was a good comment to mention, not only just because, well, first off, I've been there, done that, right? I know I've said that in many situations, but it's true. I've been in situations where you have, I see other people have this, and sometimes I think back to myself and say, hey, why don't I have that, right? Well, when am I gonna get that? And why should he have that when he has more than me, right? Well, why do the rich get richer and the poor get poorer, and things like that, right? And again, those are some deep and stressful issues, and I feel as though I could have approached that better when I was younger. And, just one way I'm doing it right now is through the podcast, just because of the fact that I can relate with everyone if I felt a little bit jealous at one point because someone had this and someone had that, and, I don't have that. So again, you guys get where I'm coming from, right? You guys get when, for example, other people tend to judge you. Other people tend to assume like, hey, you gotta have this. It's the latest trend, or hey, this has been coming up. You should get this or whatever, right? And all that comparison, all that comparing and stuff, it really just eats you up inside and makes you just so self-centered and focused on yourself in the wrong way, right? That's why, for example, you see like the new gen, sometimes people describe us as being like too materialistic, right? And it's unwarranted, right? Because of the fact that that's one of our conflicts that we got today, right? We got, for example, people, back to the comment over here, right? So it asked me if I've ever been jealous of anyone. So again, I'm not gonna lie, there were times when that happened to me. Again, I'm not the perfect person, and I'm sure as heck believing that other people ain't perfect, right? No one in the world is perfect. Name one person who you believe is perfect, like one person who you felt has never struggled with anything in his or her life, right? That person in this world doesn't exist, right? Whether you think of it religiously or whether you think of it practically, right? Everyone's gonna go through their own challenges, and it's something that we always have to look at very carefully, right? We always have to consider the fact that not everyone in the world is gonna have this thing or that thing, right? And so it's expected that people can get jealous, right? We can all get jealous at one point, and it doesn't matter where it is or whatever it is, right? Because it happens, right? It's an emotion. And guys, when it comes down to emotions, right? It's better that we've experienced them so we can learn from them, right? So the same thing goes for when we feel that, we don't have the things that we want, or we want the things other people say they need, but you need it more, right? So those kind of situations, and again, like I said, I'm gonna repeat that again. I've been there when it comes down to wanting something that other people have, right? And thinking back on that now, it's just so weird thinking that I was there at one point, even though right now it seems so ridiculous that it actually happened. Now, again, it's ridiculous, but it's also like a learning experience, right? You guys have been there where you learn we're better, right? We're better than that. We're better than to say, other people shouldn't have this or that or whatever, right? And it doesn't help because of the fact that, as other people's lives progress, right? So what about ours, right? The same thing goes, for example, when I was teaching, right? When I was a teacher, I've always had that thing as well where I was trying to see how other teachers work and what makes other teachers better and whatever, right? And why don't I have that? And, again, being a professional, that's not how the way it works, right? The way it works is that we work on becoming better ourselves, right? And if other people can see it in that way, right? Of course, there's going to be those kind of people who are going to hate regardless, right? But without a shadow of a doubt, I should have been professional, not only now as I completed college, right? But also before. But the thing is that I'm not ashamed of having said that I was there, because like I said, the way I learned is to try and cope with things is the fact that, I do it professionally, right? I find another way to cope with it in a way that's better for me, to cope with my struggles in a way that's more, healing for me, right? And one of the ways is like through the podcast. And so, yeah, I've been there before. I was jealous once. I'm not saying that it's not gonna happen to me ever again, because I have no doubt it may happen at some point. But I look at it better, and I try to approach things more calmly, swiftly, and professionally, right? That's how I should do it, right? And then, he said over here, whoever left the comment, you might have that kind of problem. Well, first off, everyone's gonna have that problem, right? Everyone's gonna have that felt at some point, right? It doesn't matter if it's like at the rest of your life you've never been jealous, right? But just at one time, if you felt that, we can say for ourselves that everyone has felt it, right? So, to say that it's a problem, that's really hard to really justify, It's hard to say, for example, hey, I'm having this kind of problem, right? Where, for example, it's like a natural emotion, right? It's natural to want to think that other people are doing better than you, right? it happens, right? So again, it's totally understandable. It's totally cool. Well, not cool, but it's totally empathetic. Many people have felt it, right? And we always do those comparisons, and we shouldn't, right? But if we felt it and we've been through it, again, we always learn from that, right? So again, if you think that it's a problem, again, it's hard. It's going to be very difficult to say that it is, but it really depends on your situation, right? It really depends if you're really taking it out on yourself by the fact that if other people are making their way up and you feel that you're not, but you're hurting yourself or you're hurting others, right? Then we got a problem, right? So that's how I just want to say that, at face value with the comment, whoever left this, the fact that you could say it's a problem, again, we got to take a look at that very carefully, right? We got to take a look at that and also look at ourselves first before we come to see what other people are saying, right? So always think about that very carefully, right? And you said over here, it sounds like something so dang simple. Well, that again really depends. Well, first off, for example, you have to think about who we are at on the social level, right? And the economic level, right? We gotta say, for example, first off, there's gonna be people who are gonna have more than other people, right? Especially in this world, it happens. And other people, they've literally have more than what they need, and other people need more than what they have, right? And the fact that we've seen that, again, it always also breaks my heart to see that. But also, again, it gives you just an insight as to why people get jealous, right? First off, really, when you have nothing and other people have more than what they need, right? We feel that, right? We feel that, and that's where things aren't so simple. In fact, they're even justified to feel it, right? Like I said, it's understandable why we feel it, especially if we think about it in terms of money, right? If we really think about it, and I know that it can be unfair at times, right? I myself have been through that where I didn't have much, not always in my life, right? And I have to literally look as other people have enough, but I also remember the fact that, where that money came through effort, right? Where people got the things that they have is through effort, right? And I know it sounds like, hey, it's just that one-time wonder thing where people do these kind of things, but you can look at, for example, other celebrities, and it's hard to say that they're just one-trick wonders, right? Only a few, but like there are some who really made a career doing what it is that they love, and they, when it comes down to, for example, like writing songs, the person who performs them is also the one who made them, right? And then other people produced it, but all in all, right, it was from that person's own mind and perspective on things, right? So again, they earn what they have, right? And again, with other people, again, regardless of your socioeconomic status, right, there'll always be that divide, right? It's not that we have to live with it, it's more so that we have to learn from it, right? We have to, if we want to make our own place in the world, we got to start somewhere, right? And that starts with us, right? So again, it's not always that it's simple, right? Jealousy and envy ain't that simple at times, right? Because there might be more to it, right? It's easy to say, for example, I hate on this celebrity because of this controversy and they said something that was offensive to me, right? It's easy to say that. It's much harder to say that, a person's jealous because they're the one person who's poor and all the people around them are rich. That's another situation, right? Because then it's going to be harder to say, hey, that's not simple, right? In fact, again, that's justified. So again, with regards to your situation, that's what I look at with everyone's situation. I always look at other people and I always take things again at face value. Every person, regardless of how they are, how they think, right? It's like I said, for me, it's hard to really, really set my mind in stone until I really get a good look at the person, right? So again, I'm not, what do you call that? Innocent of hating. I've done it before and I felt bad for myself because it happened. I'm a person. What can anyone else expect from me, right? That's gonna be what happens, right? But let's go back to the comments. So sorry for that. Before I get over to the advice, I just can't help but feel that way towards other people. Again, it's totally unwarranted, right? It's expected that people make comments about other people, right? Lest, again, you're hurting someone or you're hurting yourself, right? When it's a comment, giving your own advice or whatever, that's fine. Making a joke or something like that, right? Understandable. But if you're going on to hurt other people, right? If you're going on to hating other people, hurting yourself, whatever situation it may be, right? Then we got a problem, right? So again, if you feel that way toward other people, it's understandable. It happens. What's not justified is the fact that if you take it out on another person, right? Then that's not correct. That's psychotic. It's very much psychotic, right? So again, literally, I'm trying to humanize this comment because it seems as though I take things at face value, but I don't, right? I don't always look at it that way. I always look at it, there's more to it, right? There's more to what's happening than just on the surface, right? And the same thing goes for the basic problem in the world, that is when other people want things, right? How many of you guys out there really want things in life? I'm gonna raise my hand and say that I do. I want things in life, right? Not everything that I need, but there are things that I do want, right? And I see other people have it. But if you're probably wondering how it is that I look at things very carefully and objectively, and how do I come up with that? How do I put that in my mind? Again, stay tuned for that advice. But for now, I'm going to play this soundtrack. I want you to just digest whatever it is that I was saying over here before I get onto the radio, right? Really, really dig on it and really, really think about it in a way that that's you, right? And that other people go through those kind of things, right? Part of the reasons why many people have problems is to think that they're alone in all of this, right? And that other people can't help them. And again, with every feeling, to me, it's always understandable. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you come from. But if you are legitimately having a problem, again, it's better to at least hear you out than to say, hey, it's not happening, right? How many times before and how many it's not happenings before something big happens, right? You've seen those situations where really things bottle up to the point where it becomes too extreme, right? In fact, we kind of stigmatize those problems at some points, right? But again, go ahead and take a listen to this on the radio. Really, really dig on the soundtrack. I hope you guys enjoy it. And when you guys come back, I'm going to go over what it is that I got for you guys about this. Whoever left a comment, again, thank you very much for that. But for now, here's some beats. Alright, so we are back. And so I hope you guys enjoyed that soundtrack. Put it up on the radio. Again, I hope you guys enjoyed it, right? And so back to what I was saying about comparing people, contrasting other people, thinking that you don't have and other people do. Let's start from the beginning, right? And I want to talk about, for example, why people do that, right? Well, first off, every time we make that comment, at that point, we're always thinking about ourselves. We always start off with thinking about ourselves before we even say what's on our minds, right? Anything that we say, it's reflecting ourselves. So when people say, "Oh man, she looks so ugly," "Oh man, he looks awful," "Oh man, he has that new Ferrari," "Oh man, he's got the new iPhone 15, my gosh," "OMG, OMFG, what the frick," right? So have you noticed that every time we always say that, it's always because we think about it ourselves, right? We always do that comparison against ourselves, right? It's always that same situation. And it sounds so simple, but really, some people aren't even aware about why they say that until we ask them, is that because they're like that? Or you made that comment because it's what you're thinking about yourself? Ask any person. Ask any person and say, if they're starting to hate and they're starting to get jealous, ask them, is it because of them, right? Is it because of us, you, I, right? Is it because of that where we're actually thinking about ourselves and what we don't have, that we hate on those who do have it, right? And you'd be surprised at how many people I caught off guard doing this, right? Where they really say such hateful speech, profanity at some points, but then I always look at them, it's because of them. It's because they always feel jealous and they compare, right? And again, it's annoying at times, but expected. It's expected, right? And then after thinking about that, right, instead of just thinking about what other people got, it's tempting to just hate. I've been there, seen that, done that, right? It's tempting to just make a comment and hate on another person and then hate on ourselves, right? But we always got to take the higher road, right? We always have to think, for example, if this person's got it, how did they get it, right? People always think about the what. That's like the very basic question. But what about the why and the how, right? The things that require more of thought, more brain power instead of manpower, right? Think past the what. Think past the what do other people have and think about why do people have it? How did people get it, right? And then we can really stop the comparison from there, because if we found out the why and the how, then we can understand and justify, right? People always start with the what. And it's always rude to me, for example, when other people say like what, right? Trying to be on top of things, right? But that's always the stupidest thing in which a person who's not thinking can say, because the what, it's like, hey, I'm thinking, right? Hey, you're being disrespectful or whatever, right? How many of you guys hate when you're being called like what, right? How many of you guys hate that, right? Because it's like literally the basic question. In fact, it's like, of course, when other people ask what, it's really different for like a child compared to like an adult, right? As an adult, we should think more about saying that, right? It's not cool. It's not awesome. Doesn't feel good, right? So again, what is like the basic thing, and that's usually what's the problem, is that people start with the what, but they don't delve into it and they don't ask the why, right? People don't ask why, they just are satisfied with what, and what are they gonna do about it, right? It's just the basic things, right? The basic principle of jealousy is when we're not thinking. Why we get jealous is because we ain't thinking at that point, right? We ain't thinking too deeply into why the hell we're feeling that, right? When we should instead focus on why does he have that? How did she have that? And then reflect back on what can I do to help myself, right? What can I do to get to that point, to get to that goal? And then that's when you're gonna see the comparison stop. Why? Because you got a game plan, right? Because when you ask the why and the how other people got those things, right? can plan it out yourself on what you want to do. If you want something, work for it, right? If you need something, reprioritize, right? Instead of just looking at other people and the spoils that they got, because that ain't gonna help, right? We're not gonna waste time, energy, and effort just looking at other people and saying, you suck because you got that, right? You suck because I don't have that. Again, that's all about because of the what, right? Because of what people think at the beginning, but then people need to reflect on later on, but they don't, right? Like I said, part of what makes jealousy so powerful and hateful is when people don't have the consideration to think outside of that, right? Because I've seen people who are very poor, destitute, they got nothing on them. But I don't see them come to the point where they're gonna start hurting other people. In fact, I've seen them in NYC begging on the streets for years. And judging by the way that they look and the way they act, they've been doing it the whole time, right? And some people are boasting driving around their Ferraris, McLarens, and then, walking with their Gucci handbags or whatever, right? Past these people, but I don't see these people hating, right? In fact, it's the one who has more, because sometimes when you think you've got it all, but you're still asking the what, then you really don't deserve it all, right? Because, again, when you're comparing, it's a simple way to hate. Once you start comparing, it's a simple way for hate to take control of you, right? But if you want to stop that, and if you want to take the higher road, start asking the why and the how. Why is this happening? How do I solve it, right? Why do I want this? How am I gonna get it, right? And then from there, you'll find that comparing other people, it gets ridiculous. And that's what I feel every time. Is that, when I felt that I'm going to compare, sometimes I gotta think back as to what I got. What I got, why did it come to this, and how am I gonna get out of it? And I know it sounds simple, but it takes practice. It can be a couple days, it could take a year, I don't know, right? But again, it's all about not wanting to hate because of what other people got. Because some people really do deserve what it is that they got, right? They do deserve what it is that they have because they earned it, right? They earned it and they trusted themselves and they found a better way to make do with what they got. And again, it's not always as simple, and I do understand that. And I apologize if I may offend anyone who feels this way. But again, if you really, really think about it, if you want to stop comparing and stop hating, right? It's all about when we get away from the basic way of hating, it's easier to hate and more complicated to love. It's always that case where it's much easier to just say I hate you rather than say I love you, right? Because then you got a lot of issues with that, right? So again, when you're comparing other people, again, really think back to yourself and why do I want to waste my time doing that, right? Why do I gotta do that when, there's better ways of approaching things, right? There's better ways to love, right? There's better ways to look to the future, right? Instead of just wanting this other person to go to hell or whatever, right? And I know we felt that. So again, if you felt that and you feel ashamed of it, don't be. Because it happens to all of us. We're not perfect. In fact, we're made to become perfect over time, right? At the end of it all, it's all about what we choose, and it's all about what road we want to take, what stairway we want, and what it is that we are going to do about ourselves. And if we want the things that we want, what pathway are we going to choose to say, hey, this is the way to go? And I know it seems difficult, and I know it seems frustrating, but trust me, if you're still alive, you still got this, right? And if you feel like you're comparing, again, don't worry. If it happens at some point, again, it's all about going for the why and the how than the what, right? Because when someone says that, it sounds obnoxious. But if someone asks why and how, that's when there's someone who's actually thinking, right? Someone's actually thinking and saying, hey, maybe we'll plan this out, maybe there's a better way, and then we can get what we want, right? But again, people are going to be different. It's always going to happen. But it's all about, are we going to be the ones to fall for that, or are we going to take the higher road? That is all up on us. All up to us, right? So just saying. But that's the best advice I can give. So overall, again, whoever left the comment, please don't worry. It's understandable what you've been through. But again, don't hurt yourself and don't hurt other people. Again, we don't got time, we don't got energy for that, right? We got to take the higher road. We got to start asking questions about why we want it, how we get to it, instead of whatting other people about it, right? Because while other people's lives are moving, we got to get our own moving as well, right? So that's all I got for you guys today, and that's gonna be it for this episode of Convos. Again, let me know what you guys think. Whether you think, hey, Mr. T, this sucks. Hey, Mr. T, thank you for helping me. It don't matter to me, right? Because again, I'd love to hear what other people's got, and I don't get offended so easily. Literally, it takes a lot for me, and I'm really a thinker. Like, I always think first about why things happen instead of just hating on everybody, right? And it's part of how I learn, and I hope you guys learn from this as well. Again, so let me know what you guys think. Again, please go ahead, check out what was happening in the description. Give my shout outs to everyone there. I tend to do that now as well. You guys probably noticed in the description that I leave shout outs to different people who address the same topics, because it's all about supporting our YouTube community, but also supporting just people in general, and that other people, if they want to have fun, enjoy life, right? Our life can be so long, but it can also be very short. Make do with what we got, have fun with what we have, and enjoy life as is. And if you want more, hey, stop comparing and start working, right? So that's all it is to it. So again, check out the description. Shout out to all those people that I put there, and let me know in the comments what you guys think. Totally don't mind the hate mail. Admire the love mail. I don't mind, right? It's amazing, guys, and you guys have been an awesome audience. And I know these can sometimes be long, but if you loved it, again, or you hate it, it doesn't matter to me. What matters is if I got a voice, and I'm gonna make it heard. All right. And so also, if you guys have any other questions, comments or concerns, please feel free to DM or PM me. If anything, you guys can check out my Soch. I got something coming up real soon. I've been working on this project for a while, and so I hope you guys enjoy once I actually showcase it. But again, you guys have been awesome. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. Again, please like, share, sub, and much love. This is Mr. T over in NYC signing off. Much love, everyone, and I'll see you at the next episode, and have an awesome day, all right? Peace.